Welcome to Prepper Talk Radio, radio for the ready-minded, the podcast for the prepared. Hey, I love that intro music. I'm so glad Scott picked that when he made our intro, because that is some good freaking music as far as I'm concerned. So today we are going to bring you some wild, wacky, who knows, some stuff that you may not have ever thought of in terms of being a prepared and your preparedness.
You know me, I'm a wacky guy.
And if you're on live with us, because this is our live episode, if you're on live with us, be thinking really about some things that you might be able to stump us on, things that you should have in your preps that are not common, uncommon, unlikely things, things that you may not have ever thought about until now. What would you have in your preps? We really want to give you guys an opportunity to do some great things and have some great preps and knowledge and skills and some great preparedness information. And so we actually had in our if you're watching live, Scott and Shane are messing around with the visuals here. So if you're on YouTube, by the way, if you're on YouTube, we have, and you might notice a different couple of buttons with us on the live. There's a super chat. So if you're on live with us and you want to super chat us and support the show with a couple bucks, we will be more than happy to take it. In the future, though, if you're looking at on our YouTube channel and you want to thank us for any information, any videos that you're watching of ours, you can click the button now that says super thanks and donate some money to the cause. We had an impromptu meeting. Scott drove down to my house with Shane, and we had an impromptu meeting in my backyard yesterday with some we were around the fire pit in my backyard, and we have some fun things slated for you guys. We got some fun stuff that we're building. So please make sure you're on our website and you're on our email list so that you get apprised of all that as we roll it out. So lastly, but not leastly, this show is brought to you by our good friends at amp-3.net, the first aid providers of choice for Prepper Talk Radio. They are American-made, American-owned, just great Americans, and we want to support them. And they're our first sponsors. So we're excited to bring them to you so that you can have a discount on their first aid kits. It's 15% if you use code Prepper Talk, and also don't forget about our good friends at survivalfrog.com. Survivalfrog.com has a great array of multiple products, and they actually give us a 10% off if you use our code on Survival Frog. So I reached out to Byron today, who's the owner of Survival Frog. So hopefully we'll get him on the show again soon in the near future. But Scott and Shane are on the show. It's me and Scott and Shane, and we're here to talk to you about the unlikely things you should have in your preps.
Well, absolutely. Long list. Well, my list is long.
Your lists are always long.
They are always long.
And you're probably going to give us something in like the last 5 minutes. It turns into an 80-minute discussion, and everyone's going to be like, oh,
or you're going to drop a bomb like, wait, what? To be continued.
But that's
right.
just
join us next time.
That's just because Shane's one of those wild and crazy
kind of guys. Yeah.
Here's the unlikely thing that I'm going to have in my kit. Shane, I'm going to be in my kit, bro, so that you can be in my kit.
I'll take the reference. I'll take the referral, but I can't guarantee anything.
Shane just didn't even volunteer, but just became your indentured Sherpa. Is that what that is?
Yes. He's going to be in my
Trek Up preparedness.
Stuff him in my bug out bag.
I'm the oldest man here, so.
And as we learned yesterday, you can still touch your toes with the grace and flexibility.
I can. That's one of my goals every day.
Touch your toes.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I didn't necessarily welcome everybody who's live with us. Welcome to the show. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being live with us online. Hopefully we'll get a lot more. Make sure you hit the like button as well so that the algorithm puts it out and we get more people live with us.
Well, and the fun thing is you don't need to support us through YouTube, guys. You can just go to our website and join the community, and we're going to be dropping some really cool stuff in the next 2 weeks. The new site's up.
All thanks
the
to Scott.
shopping cart's not there. It's there, but it's not live. It is awesome. I've redone the shirt graphics. They're awesome, and I haven't shown everybody because it's kind of a surprise because they're awesome. And yeah, there's so much going on. And we got inspired for this episode from our group. So if you're not in our group, you're not awesome yet. Like you could be. Get in our group and get awesome. But this whole episode's about that. All the weird, unlikely things that you might carry in your preps. Is it bug out bag specific? Are we?
No, I think
no, it can be
anything.
anything.
It could be anything. So
I really like what Rebecca says here. I've been watching on some D&D, and I wish the infinite bag of holding was a real thing.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh man, so do I, bro. You could put all your food storage could go in that bag of holding, and then you could just carry that bag off into the Wild Beyonder.
I must throw out a disclaimer. I don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. I've never played it before. So
wait a minute. She didn't say Dungeons and Dragons, bro.
D&D.
She said D&D. So you have to know at least a little bit.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. No.
Oh, that's awesome.
That makes me think of that. You've probably all seen that giant backpack meme that circled the web.
Yeah,
the backpack's like bigger than the guy. Just
like
he's hunched over. Like, yeah, a bag that actually has the magic ability to hold everything in it. Like, I would rather that just be a pocket. Like, if I had a pocket, if I had one magical wish, it would be that I could have a pocket that I could reach into at any time and pull out exactly what I need for that given moment. Done. I don't need to prep anymore, right?
No kidding.
But in the meantime, and until then, what are some weird things that you keep with your prep all the time? Well, for me, I'm an asthmatic, so I go to the doctors a couple times a year, and I stock up on my inhalers, and I keep one in every kit, as well as what I carry with me, and I rotate those out. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to do, but I rotate those out. I've always got fresh ones. But that's not something most of the people that I talk to that are asthmatic, they're like, oh, I can get more than one. I'm like, yeah, go get more than one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a great idea.
Well, you watch that World War Z, right? You learn how important that really can be,
Well, it's a simple little thing, but like those are the things that I find the most comfort in. It's like, oh, I've got that. Good. Yeah. Or like another simple little thing. It's this bad boy. Let me zoom in on that. This is the piece de resistance. It's just a generic but high quality stainless steel.
Yeah, I have one on my list.
Fingernail clippers, not the little ones.
Check this one out. Watch this. Watch what this does. Watch. Boing. Look at that. It's collapsible. Look at that. It's stowable.
Kind of reminds me of that. What was that show on? I think it was Comedy Central. Maybe it was like Saturday Night Live. Stuart, look what I can do.
But I carry one of these. I carry one of these in my fishing kits. I carry these in my bug out bags. I have one in my drawer at all times. You never know, and you're like, oh yeah, those are getting kind of long. Let's clip those while we're doing a podcast.
Well, I think the one that kind of kicked this off in our group, somebody posted, I think it was, I can't remember the name, her name right now, unfortunately. She's really posts a lot in the group, which we're going to start doing some fun things for those that participate in the group. We actually just talked last night about some things we're going to do for some contests and stuff to kick off for those that are really commenting, posting, and being involved there. But she posted about super glue. And I was just like, holy smacks. I don't have a thing. I don't think I have a single. I had one tube of super glue in my whole house, and as a prepper, one is none. And especially since my son just used it all, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, we need more super glue." I was like, "That was the one that I had." So I went and bought more super glue this week, and I'm gonna stack, slowly but surely stack up my super glue to be able to do that. There's so many things you can do with super glue. Like when
you have kids, it's an essential item, right? You're always fixing something. So
I want to shout out real quick what Utah Mike's wrote here. New thing I've started is recommending Prepper Talk on other live programs. Thank you, Utah Mike. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Hey, let's all be like
live
Utah
programs. Mike. You're watching other live programs. I'm offended.
Now, if you're on another live program and you're promoting Prepper Talk Radio, you are our favorites.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So on the same lines you're talking about, Scott, something I always have in my kits, an EpiPen.
A firework?
It's an EpiPen.
EpiPen.
Oh,
right.
I need to get one of those.
I've got probably 3 or 4 of them spread around different kits. You just never know. I don't have a need. The wife occasionally, she's had a few reactions, but for a lot of other people could potentially have the need. So know how to use it and when to use it. But that's very valuable right there. That's worth its weight in gold and whatever, double its worth.
That's
its
so
weight.
big, though. Why would you carry something so big that take up so much space when you can have a small, flat one like this?
What?
Wait,
What?
that's an EpiPen?
That's an EpiPen.
Wow, that's cool.
Where'd
I
you get
guess-
that, dude?
That's what I carry. They're AviQ. It's
that's
another
cool.
brand of
I'm
EpiPen.
gonna write that
But
down.
they're slimmer, they're flatter, they're smaller, but it's the same dosage. So
Spell that for us.
AUVI-Q.
Where'd you get it?
Well, I got a prescription for them because
Oh,
I have.
there you go. You gotta
I
get
needed
it.
them, otherwise I might die with this medication they tried me on to fix my allergies.
See if we can get a stash of those from Jace Medical.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, so I remembered who it was. Julie Francis. Shout out to Julie Francis. She's the one that posted in our group about having super glue as in your preps. So just wanted to make sure she got the credit where it was due.
Yeah, and I think along those same lines, just adhesives, tape, of course, duct tape. That's always it's got to be in everything. So that's not something unusual. Just another thing I was thinking about is the what's it called? Where you got the two different parts of putty, you mash it together, you make an epoxy putty. What's that stuff called?
Are you talking about the?
You can get it at Home Depot.
Yeah, I've got those.
You tell
all over
Mike,
the
you'll
house.
know what this is. And of course, I had a brain freeze of what it is. Yeah, it's just it's an epoxy putty, and I've used it for all different kinds of things to repair all different kinds of things. It just gets hard as a rock, and you can even get versions that are hard as metal.
Yeah, it's JB Weld sticks.
JB Weld. There we go. JB Weld. Yep. There we
They
go.
come in steel. I've used the steel. I've used the water weld.
Yes,
and
Mike.
I've used the Quickwood.
Yeah, JB Weld.
But yeah,
That's
JB
great
Weld.
for kits. I always keep a little bit on hand. Keep some on hand.
And they
in the-
last a
in the
long
toolkit.
time as long as you keep them dry.
Yeah.
Like if you keep them dry and like not any more extra oxygen getting in them. I've got one that's probably 5-6 years old, and I just tested the other day out of necessity, not testing for fun or for just being smart about it. I was like, oh crap, I need to fix this. Oh, I got JB Weld. Open it up. It was my oldest case, and it worked fantastic.
Yeah. Web Dad, having some Narcan handy. I've seen billboards around in our neck of the woods. It's not for Narcan, but it's for another medication that helps those who've overdosed. And you put a sticker on the back of your vehicle, say, "Hey, I have this on hand if anybody needs it."
Do we know if
I
those
forget
will
what that's
work
called.
Will that work with fentanyl?
I think that's what the other one is. The other one that I'm forgetting. I don't think Narcan is, but maybe I'm wrong. But there is
Well, I
another
think that's
particular name.
important
Maybe it's just
because-
a brand name.
I don't know what's going to be happening here in the near future, but with all this stuff that's coming across the border, fentanyl has been a huge, big deal. So anything that can support that, but Narcan, great idea there, Web Dad. Thank you.
I'm gonna
Another,
that.
Kind of another one that I was thinking about was paper clips. Paper clips can do a lot to, if you break a zipper, if you break they can connect things, bring things together. Like there's little wires you can use that to create a fishing hook if you had to, or just create, maybe even do some, there's just a lot of things that you could probably use a paper clip with and for. And I thought that was another item that I thought would be good to have in your preps too, at least a stash of paper clips.
Naloxone. That's what I was thinking of. Naloxone.
Naloxone? Yeah, there you go. I've got a lot of zip ties, various sizes, and I keep some
Zip
in my
ties.
bag.
Yes.
Those are for.
I
prisoners of
also
war.
like to carry lots of paracord because that's super handy. But medications, yes, absolutely. Here's one that I love. You can go get these if you have breathing treatments. You've got to do. You can get one of these little battery, handy portable. It also can plug in, and you can throw rechargeable batteries in it.
Atomizer or
Ionizer. So
ionizer
for
Oh.
breathing treatments. Fantastic. You can get it on Amazon, super cheap. You can get them on Walmart.com. Like there's a lot of different places you can get them.
Can you use that with essential oils?
I would have to do some research on that, or you could. But
Essential oils. That's on my list. Essential oils. I've got, of course, stashes at home, and then in my kit, just a small pouch of essential oils.
okay, here's
That's on my list.
I think that's really good, Shane, because there's most people think about having herbs on hand, and herbs
Yeah.
are great too. Like we definitely should have herbs, and where do you get the oils but from the herbs? That's where the oils are often gotten from, or I don't know what the word is right now, but oils come from those herbs being pressured and smashed to the point where they become an oil. So that's a great idea, dude, having several of those on hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just a lot of reasons to use it, not just for medicinal purposes, but for relaxation, for calming, for muscles. For bugging out, if I'm on foot, there's some wintergreen oil. It just works fantastic on muscles. I love that.
Yeah, I love the. I'm actually using essential oil. Once you get to a certain age, you got to have, as a man, you have certain hormones that aren't working as they used to, and so there's a essential oil called black sage or black spruce. Anyways, it boosts testosterone and naturally. And
look who's here, President Trump.
We have President Donald Trump.
What? Whoever you are, this is hilarious.
So we have just announcement. We have MAGA, the number one MAGA, President Donald Trump is now on our live, or somebody pretending
Someone using him.
We have a deep fake, or it's either President Trump or a deep fake.
Or a troll. Could be a troll.
Could be a troll. If it is the real Donald Trump,
we're watching you,
or wherever you want to do that.
But it's good to hear you're prepared for everything. I think the government is pretty much prepared for everything.
I wonder what Mar-a-Lago has. I wonder if because the FBI didn't really find anything, but I wonder if there's like a bunker there.
Yeah,
with
dude.
Preps.
He's got one.
Like one of the preps I like. I got one of these recently. I think everyone should get one of these in their preps. It's kind of, a lot of people don't know about it, and so I think that's why it's such a good thing to have. I just got this book called Ready Radius. It's a completely different take on simplifying your strategy for survival. If you haven't checked it out, I'd go check it out. It's a sweet little thing to help with your preparedness. One of the things in here talks about how to identify who should be in your group or who shouldn't be, like questions, things to consider on qualifying if someone should be part of that third ring of safety. It's pretty cool. Yeah, check it out.
I even got an autographed copy. So those are incoming for those that want to have autographed copies. Be on our list. So when we roll those out, they'll be available. So another prep, I was just thinking that, we think about food storage and we think about breakfast and lunch and dinner, but what about snacks? Like we all like snacks. And so I think a great thing to store would be like popcorn or, something like that, where you could have as a
candy
snack, that's easy and the seed form is really easy. You put it over the fire, you got to have the right kind of utility to cook it, but you can cook. I mean, I remember being a Boy Scout, you throw those kernels in the thing and you cook popcorn over the campfire. So you can definitely cook popcorn without a microwave. By the way, just so and most of you who listening or know, but tell your friends, you actually can cook popcorn without a microwave. It's possible.
That's right. Stovetop, a little bit of oil, but I think you do have to have the popping corn type of corn for it to pop properly, right?
Sure.
I'm sure you could toast it pretty good. If it's not.
You talking about 2-cycle oil? I'd actually use a cooking oil instead.
But no, 2-cycle oil would be a great thing to keep on hand. Absolutely, or 4-cycle, for your motorcycle. So yeah, I do have a stock of oil for my vehicles at home, not in my bug out bag, but yeah, absolutely. That's something that I think is really important to keep on hand, because when you need it and don't have it, you're out of luck.
So one of the things that we talk about a lot is security, but we don't talk about like your security strategy a whole lot, like who's taking this watch, how do you prepare yourself for those watches, how do you stay awake, like if you're doing the night security. Here's a friendly little thing I like: caffeine pills. This is Vibrant. That's just one of the different brands. I have some of these in every bag. It's great to have, because if you're like me and you're like, oh, I have to stay up for this, I need a little caffeine. And if you don't have your Coke or Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew, whatever your flavor is available, like if that's no longer there, having a stack of these, it's good to have in case of need, right?
Let's just make sure we clarify, when you said if you don't have your Coke on hand, you're meaning the soda, the
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Coke.
Because you said Coke to stay awake. Like,
beverage.
There's a different kind of Coke that will help you stay awake too.
So here's something I keep in my go bag. Are these this is reference cards, right? This one is for wild edibles, and then all different kinds of tips and trick. I can imagine a time or where maybe I'm injured, I'm just not thinking clearly, I'm dehydrated or whatever, and having something to refer to, I think, will make a difference. For a lot of reasons. So I keep those handy. Maybe not so untypical.
So along with that,
Practical.
you mentioned a while ago, Shane, that you got yourself a dental kit.
Oh yes, I sure did, and it is the scariest thing I've ever seen. It is terrifying.
You're not putting that in my mouth.
I got myself one of these. It's super small.
What is that?
This is a dental cleaning tool, personal cleaning tool that you can use to clear off your plaque.
Oh yeah, there we go.
That's kind of cool.
They come in packs of 2. I bought this years ago, and I clean it. I think that's one of the most neglected areas. People are like, oh yeah, I get a toothbrush. Get floss. Get something to clean it with, or go Shane's route and go the full.
Hold on, kid. I mean, look at that. Is that scare the crap out of you? Look at that. And there's like a dozen of them.
You got a fourth tooth?
Oh my gosh!
You just mentioned dental floss, Scott, and dental floss can be used for a myriad of things. Like that can be a way to tighten things up, even or keep things secure. If you need to use it as a smaller kind of string or rope, dental floss has multiple uses. But
that is a great lesson learned from Tremors. The second movie, no, the third one. Dental floss.
As long as it's in the first 5, I think they're good, right?
First four are the best. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, here's one. Do you guys recognize what this little collaboration is?
Looks like a lockpick.
That is a lockpick set.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Pieces. I've found these to be extremely valuable. We've used them a number of times. Especially pre-apocalypse when kids lock doors and the keys happen to be in the room. Having a lockpick set, I've got a full set, I've got a small set, and I've got my emergency bag kit. This is what I keep in my bag. Super valuable. Even if you don't know how to use
taking notes,
a lot of ways you can
write
figure
these down.
You can also get one of those bump keys. Have you guys seen those?
Mm-hmm. Those are pretty cool.
Those are pretty awesome. I want to get one of those and play with it.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's something that I do not go without. Signal mirror. Right?
Yeah.
And this is a glass, it's not plastic. I've got all different sizes. This is one I keep in my EDC bag, my go bag. And there's a lot more uses than just signaling, right? This is great for communicating amongst friends, amongst groups, as well as for signaling for rescue, but it's also great for self-evaluation. Right, just imagine yourself out in the woods. You have to look in the water, a nice smooth puddle or in a pond to try and look at yourself. But if you're injured or you've got to need to check out your face for whatever reason, I mean that's another great reason to have a mirror. Look places you can't necessarily see without a mirror. But also think about for self-defense, the sun in someone's eyes, very powerful. Much stronger than any flashlight. Or looking into a dark area. Like a cave or, for a bear or a cat. I've done that before, trying to look into a cave to see if there's anything in there before I go into it. Pull the mirror out, brighter than any flashlight.
I want to just piggyback on that a little bit, Shane, what you said about being able to look at yourself. When I was a younger kid, I fell off of a cliff and hurt myself pretty bad. And the good news is that I had some training as, first aid training and some other training, but none of the guys that were with me had any. And so thankfully we could go to the car and then I just used the mirror, the side view mirror to be able to see what my face and my body, I was able to see things and say, hey guys, this is what I'll need. And I had a first aid kit. And so I was really, I was into it enough that I could, make recommendations, but I was out of it enough that I needed the help. So it was nice to be able to look in a mirror and see what needed to be done and ask the guys to get it out of the first aid kit when necessary. So
yeah, cool.
I just want to piggyback on that because that's a really good idea. And you talked about a dental kit. You even have a birthing kit, don't you? A
I've got a
doula?
nice
Is
big
it a
birthing
doula kit?
No, it's I got it. Where did I get
Obstetric
it
kits?
from? It's an obstetric kit, is what it is,
We
and
got
it
28
is
of those.
it's absolutely cool. But yeah, so the one, and I have some of those from Survival Medical. I've got some of those too, but this sucker is absolutely complete. I mean, it's like hospital quality.
I don't have any
Oh,
of the
that's
strong medical
awesome.
ones. I
Yeah,
probably
it's.
should have gotten those.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got bigger ones. I don't know
Nice.
how it compares to yours, but yeah, we've got. Oh, actually, no, we do have a birthing bucket from Survival Medical,
Yeah, yeah.
which is an obstetric kit. I'd
It's
have to go through and double
a
check
bunch of
everything in
kits,
there.
yeah.
But my wife, when we sold our last house, she's like, I've got stuff on the list. Can I buy it all? I'm like, sure. She dropped like 20 grand in a week on the most phenomenal stuff. And one of those was, she's like, I'm buying all these obstetric kits. I'm like, why? We're not having 28 kids. And she goes, I don't care. They're not for us. Other people are going to need help.
Oh, it was you
pregnant
that
women?
helped us get those kits, Scott.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Sorry.
I married up so high. She is way cooler than I am. Way more thoughtful, way prettier. Like, this is gorgeous, but she is better. But like, it is so much better to have things, even if you have the budget, go big, right? If you have the extra funds, get more to help other people, right? The whole point of this is to help create stronger communities. And so that's why she was just like, we're going to do this. And we bought stuff for other people. So then it created a layer of defense for us. So now they're not going to come knocking on our door when they need something because they already have it at their house, right? It's just layered defense. And it's fantastic. But yeah, having those types of situation-specific medical kits is fantastic.
Yeah,
So WebDad says VS.
I was just going to click on that too. So I clicked off.
All right. Yeah. VS17 signal panels. Good recommendation.
So and essentially a high vis blanket. And I've got some of my survival blankets, that have reflective on one side and high vis on the other. Yeah.
And then Rebecca says for the ladies, Shiwi. Now is Shiwi kind of like the Go Girls?
Yeah.
I think it
Same
is.
thing.
Same thing, different brand.
Different brand.
So for the ladies, that's a funnel for you to be able to stand up and use, urinate while standing, and so that's a great thing to have especially for the ladies that are listening or guys that have ladies in your life that need to be prepared. Make sure you're getting those for them.
Well, it's nice to not have to drop trow every time you need to go. Like, you can just have a little more privacy. But absolutely. Here's another one. You guys have seen me use these.
Yeah.
I was gonna. Yeah, that was on my list.
These are my folding glasses.
They not only fold, they extend.
Fold out. They're fantastic. Extend, and everything I need right there. Having these and another thing to go with it, a magnifying glass. So if you have a medical issue and you can't see it very well, having that magnifying glass, one that has a stand and legs. I have one. My kids are playing with it somewhere in the house, but I've got one that has a built-in light. It's a big one. It's fantastic. So if I'm working on something, I need to get a sliver. That's my go-to, because some slivers, those little micro slivers, oh my goodness, you got to have something to.
So you got to have the tweezers to go with it too, right? So look at these right here. These little tweezers. Just clip right on there, right on the key ring there. Pretty cool.
Well, and show that key ring again. I think that's what shows also one of those things that a lot of people don't have. You can't have enough of these. I think in
with the
emergency scenarios, carabiners are so fantastic.
Oh, good.
Having them all over the place, it's just great to have because they have so many purposes and uses.
But have some real carabiners, not these little pretend.
Yeah, those are pretend ones, and I've got some real ones.
Okay, so absolutely. So here's another thing, right there that I got on the list there, right? And Mike, you tell Mike you probably won't want one of these either if you don't like the lock picking kits. Little handcuff key, right?
Key.
I have these stashed all over the place. Who knows when you may need it?
Amen.
For entertainment purposes only.
Well, so speaking of handcuffs, I think another thing that you should have in your preps is some kind of contraceptives. Those types of things aren't going to stop. So, if you can't go to I don't know if Ace Medical has birth control, but for the guys, we definitely need to have condoms and stuff like that for that kind of And that's honestly, that's
Also-
something that you can trade too. Like
Yep.
that's a tradable item as well. So I don't smoke, but I would also consider having some, cigarettes in my stash so that I could trade that. I don't drink, but I would consider having some alcohol, vodkas or something like that in my stash so that
It's
I could
funny
trade that.
because one of my network people, my brother-in-law lives in California. He's a Hollywood guy. He stockpiled up more on alcohol than anything else until he got married. And his wife's like, "Why do we have all this?" He's like, "In case I need to trade it for stuff." She's like, "You can't feed your kids this." And so then she's like forced them to do other stuff. But yeah, that alcohol, cigarette, like the guilty pleasures of life. Those are the things that when the grid goes down or things go super awry, people are going to be wanting those so bad. It's going to be a gold mine for anyone that has that. Tradable items for condoms, cigarettes, and alcohol is going to be top shelf trade.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I had another one and I just set it down, and now
Okay, no, I got one right here. I got plenty. All right, so this one right here. What is this? Ooh, what is
Ooh,
this?
the scriptures.
Little small compact version of the scriptures. These are, and I keep them in a Ziploc bag so that they don't get wet.
I mean, the book of Eli was written about protecting the scriptures. So make sure you have your copy.
Right,
The whole movie was about protecting the scriptures. And so
and one of these too, right? One of those too, right? Book of Eli. You talking Book of Eli?
Is that a kakura?
It's like a kukri. It's not
kukri.
It's
sorry, I don't.
It's a machete.
Like
it's a type of machete, but
I'm sorry. I'm pronouncing it like a. I shouldn't.
That's
yeah,
that another thing on my list is primitive weapons, right? That's probably we all talk about handguns and so forth, and that's my preferred method, but also being prepared to run out of bullets too, right? So
I love having my slingshot with a built-in whisker biscuit, and I've put in a little in the leather. I've actually added a little line of paracord, so I can actually shoot arrows out of my slingshot.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's pretty fantastic. And it's something you can DIY yourself. It's pretty awesome. I don't think you can ever have enough. Like, honestly, buttons. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Where are you going to get buttons if your buttons are breaking? Are you going to take the time to find the right wood and carve them out? Are you going to find ivory somewhere and carve them out?
You could.
Along with that, a sewing kit would be really good to have.
Yeah, fantastic sewing kits. I even have a hand sewer where I can actually go like this and it'll sew through long sheets of cloth. It is fantastic. My mother-in-law, so my aunt-in-law, I guess, gave it to me before she passed away. She's like, "You like to prep, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Here's a hand sewer. It doesn't need electricity. You just go like this and it sews." And so you're going like this and it's got a little sewer that goes along and you can sew close together. It's fantastic. I'm horrible at it, but it'll do. I'll get good and I'll be able to make a quilt. You just watch.
Yeah, I mean that's something that it should be on everybody's list as well as a sewing kit, right? To have sewing supplies, sewing machine, so forth. So not untypical, not unusual, but here's something that's probably unusual is camo paint, right? Face paint, right?
Interesting. Good idea.
So in addition to having something, not necessarily camouflage, but not clothing that if you're in the woods, if you want to be undetected, having clothing that will at least hide if it's not camouflage, but also disguising your face, those and your hands and so forth that are uncovered. If you need to abscond for some reason, so I got those in my kits. So
extra cans of spray paint
or
tagging, and here's why. When there is a disaster, one of the things that the unified services will do is they'll drive around, and if you know what the codes are for deceased people or plagues do not enter, put those suckers on your house, and they're going to drive on like, "Oh, don't need to go there. Keep going." I have so many cans of spray paint just for that reason.
Well, that's true. That's a great point. And that make sure that it's a bright color, right? Not just black or gray or
Yeah, I've got red,
Well,
white,
or what?
and bright orange.
Aren't there colors that actually signify that color means certain something at the, like, I know CERT.
Yes and no,
sometimes
but if
has
you go to
color-coded
CERT,
things.
they have you can use any color with CERT because they're all symbols.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. I don't have my CERT bag here, but yeah, there's are symbols more than anything else. We talked about super glue. We talked about nail clippers, lock pick sets for instructional purposes.
Like this practical. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, balaclava.
But camo as well, right?
That's awesome.
So
another fun thing. I actually have data blockers. That was what I put down. I can't seem to figure out where I put it. I've been playing with all the stuff on my desk, but I have data blockers because I carry extra charging cables in my
USB cables.
bag.
Yeah.
And I just don't want, if I'm having to in an emergency, I'm not talking just EMP or like massive civil unrest and stuff. If I just need to charge somewhere that I'm not familiar with, I don't want there to be something pulling my data, something pulling my information, or pushing viruses onto my device. So I have data blockers that I carry in my bags just for that reason. They're cheap.
Rebecca, I'm trying to see what you're saying. A fully filled Stanley type steel bottle with a handle is a good improv. Okay.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Yeah, exactly. The off-grid. Yeah, those things.
Oh, yeah.
Data blocker. Let the power come through, but no data connection. Yeah.
Yep.
I got mine too in my bag. My bag.
Sharpies, absolutely. That was on my list. I got Sharpies.
Yep. You can't have enough of those. The bigger, the better. Also, going back on energy, you can get the energy version of these and the this is like the Mio water. You can add flavor to water.
Oh, yeah.
Great to have non-energy ones. And the non-energy ones are great because then if your filtered water is disgusting,
Brondo, it has electrolytes.
Drink it. Which one?
Brondo, it has electrolytes.
There you go.
I think another one too that to remember is like if you have cold sores or if you have like just protecting your lips, there's a lot, get your even aura gels, things like that. If you have a pain, you want to be able to protect your gums and your teeth. Campho-phenique. Yeah, I carry a couple of these. I actually have a bag of chapstick, that in my preps, a whole bag of them. And those are good things to trade too at some point, potentially. Yep. So
I didn't get your Bondo reference at all. That's why I just kind of shook my head. What is that? What are you talking about?
Brondo is from the movie. Oh no, of course I forget the name of the movie. For Thirst Mutilator. What's the name of the movie? Please comment.
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about
future where Terry Crews is the president.
Yes.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. Yes, I'm referring to Idiocracy.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It has electrolytes.
What is this?
Ooh.
A level?
Good.
The level.
That's kind of big there.
What are these? They're just handheld ones.
Yeah.
Tape measure and cutting knife, right? Also, extra blades. Like, have extra tools, have equipment to be able to rebuild and fix things.
WebDad
who are you going to call? The handyman's not going to be around. You're your own handyman.
WebDad says Vaseline. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think another one along the lines of Vaseline is, I don't know if anybody listening is in Hispanic or Hispanic culture, but for some reason that Vicks Vapor Rub is like the go-to for everything, like
everything
flu, cold related. So I served as a missionary amongst the Hispanic people. I speak Spanish. I love them. And it was just so funny because growing up, we would use Vicks Vapor Rub from time to time. But man, Vicks Vapor Rub was like the deal go-to for healing. Like sometimes they would even mix it in a drink and drink it. I was like, what are you, crazy? So anyways,
never heard that before.
I'm just new. Okay, let's go. I don't recommend that. But, having some Vicks Vapor Rub in your and some Vaseline and some other things like that in your stash, good idea, I think.
Well, see, one thing that Rebecca points out here is that Most people are too checked out to notice the small things. I like the small things. I like the little things. I like the minutia of prepping, and so I think that is where it can make all the difference.
Yeah. Well, it's going back onto WebDad's Vaseline, like Vaseline jelly, petroleum jelly. Like they say it's only good for like 2 to 3 years.
It's existed
But if you
in
look
the
in
earth
your
for
closet,
thousands of years.
I challenge anyone in this group, anyone listening to this, anywhere you are, I would like to know if anyone has ever had expired petroleum jelly in their home.
I'm sure if I went and checked ours, it would probably be
It's
expired.
amazing. It's expired, but is it bad?
No.
Has it gone bad? I've never had any go bad. So I would know. I'm not an expert on petroleum jellies, but that's one of those things. It's like you don't need a whole lot and it'll last a long time.
Okay, here's something else I keep with me at all times. You know what this is?
It's not your cigar cutter. What is
And
that?
it's high carbon steel. So essentially it's
Flint and steel?
steel for flint and steel, but also pivot point for a bow drill. So, I know what kind of rock, kind of flint chert to look for so I don't need to always carry a rock with me, but to have some good carbon steel, whether it's a knife blade that's high carbon steel, or just have this little piece of steel, or any kind of, high carbon steel in your bag, you can use that to make a fire and good to go. That's another knowledge thing. The more knowledge you have, the less you need, but you do need some steel. That's really important. Good piece of steel.
Okay, I got. I don't think I have another one right now. Let me see.
Well, always good to have. This is just an example of it. But Fatwood, some type of really easy lighting resource to help get your fires going. Because everyone that's in Boy Scouts or ever knew a Boy Scout, you're going to run out of lighter fluid. You're going to run out of that stuff. You know how to make your own tinder. But yeah, having the right stuff. Other weird things, I like keeping electrical cables and random charging devices, chargers, and headphones of all kinds. Yeah. And I maybe it's a sickness, but I keep them because it's like you never know when you're going to need one. And post scenario, it's like if I want to listen to an encrypted message or a message just intended for me, or if I want to listen to music on my device that I've stored.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to necessarily listen to that. And so having those types of things, it's great. Plus you have worst case scenario, a little thing you can use the wire to repair something else.
Yeah. I always have spare cables in all my bags. Yeah. For the essentials as well as headphones. Here's another thing. Earplugs.
Mm-hmm.
I take really good care of my hearing. I don't, of course, like to shoot without protecting my ears and really even just working with a grinder or whatever it is. A lot of things that when I'm working can be loud and I just really like to take care of my ears. It's very important, especially in SHTF when your senses are what you're going to be relying on the most. So I think it's, for me, it's really important to always have a set of earplugs just in case.
Well, like here we got WebDad says a plastic pencil sharpener. That's a good idea. And then Utah Mike says a carpenter pencil.
Yeah, you can sharpen that with a knife rather than a pencil sharpener. Yeah.
And then Practical says that metal pencil sharpeners are made of magnesium, so you have a way to make shavings of wood and magnesium to help start the fire.
Cool.
That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Another one.
Yeah, paper notebooks. I've got those.
Another one I was thinking of is having some an extra set of pantyhose that could be used as a filter. You could use that as a if you want to filter out a debris out of a pond or puddle. It could be used to cover your face so that you can rob a bank. I mean, there's lots of different things you can use.
Just from disguise yourself from AI, facial recognition, right? That's legit. That's legit.
But I would definitely think that's a good way to filter things out. Like you could put that over your cup or something. If you don't have a filter or you need to get the big items out of the way, that will help get those big items so that you could fit it into a filter that will actually get those microorganisms out too.
Here's another thing I'd like to keep.
Having extra padlocks and also having screws, long screws, lag screws, and a way to secure additional plates for padlocks are great because you can then secure things that are harder to secure. A lock is a great deterrent just in and of itself. Go ahead, Shane.
No, yeah, no, absolutely. I've got lots of padlocks. How about a refillable pen? Right? Learn
Nice
learn
fountain pen.
calligraphy and cursive, and be able to inexpensively and fill up your pen for many years. Just order a bunch of ink, or even make your own ink.
That makes me think that even in the apocalypse, you can be a gentleman, a man of class.
Of course,
a person
absolutely.
of
Calligraphy.
esteem.
Distinction.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca Burton. I have this on my list. Moleskin and Luca tape. Oh my goodness. If you don't have moleskin in your bag, in your first aid kits, in every extra place in your house, if you're going to end up doing a lot of walking, which we all are, post SHTF, those blisters are going to eliminate you from the game so fast if you don't have something to treat them. Moleskin, I love it. It is one of the best things to have.
All right.
Yeah, Mike says extra pantyhose. I don't even have a single
none.
pantyhose. An extra pantyhose. Oh, Mike, you or Web Dad. Time for me to drop the big item for discussion. I sorry to disappoint. Give me a second. He's
going to say something about how you don't need to have a bag for your bug out bag.
I don't know. What is it that I carry on me that's gonna blow everybody away? I don't know.
A single pantyhose, Rebecca says. That's funny.
Yeah, a single pantyhose. I was trying to be funny. I was trying there.
While we're waiting here really fast, for those that just came on a little bit later, we have now got the super thanks. So while we're live, if you want to thank the show, support the show with any donations, we have that now available. Also on our videos across YouTube, we have the thank you situation there. But we're really going to be pumping out some really great content on our website and our email lists over the next little while. So please get on our email list, go to our website and check us out. Make sure you're staying in touch there.
And if you're not a listener and you want to be a reader, we've launched a blog portion at preppertalkradio.com. You can start reading different episodes. We're going to be turning into blog posts so you can get the condensed Prepper Talk Digest version instead of Reader's Digest version.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. We've got fun stuff coming down the pipeline. This is, for years we've been doing this, and it's always been because we feel mission driven to help get as many people better prepared as possible. Our goal is to help create prepared families, neighborhoods, communities, right? The more resilient we are, the less of a curveball life can throw at you because we know how to hit it.
Yeah.
And you guys are part of what makes this so worth doing for us.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are in here weekly, thank you so much. Rebecca, WebDad, Practical, Mike, I can scroll up and go on and on and on and on, but then also the people in our groups on Facebook and our soon to be group off social media, World of Prep. There's so many benefits to having that conversation going from all of you. You give us great content, great insight. We don't teach as we learn. We all learn together. So thank you so much for being part of the family.
One last item for me.
Okay.
I have pretty oily skin, so I'd like to wash my face regularly. I carry around a rag, but this rag is an antibacterial rag. It actually has little particles of silver in there, so kind of a self-cleaning rag. So that's something I always like to have with me. It makes me feel so much nicer after a long day and I've been sweaty, just to clean my face off. So there's one little last item for me there.
I like that. To Paris freeze.
Oh,
no, I didn't freeze. I was just reading the Practical's comment about why Patriots are still on Facebook. And I think that's just kind of where the people are right now. I'm mostly on Facebook to help. And we are in our group because that's where the people are. That's where we can help. There's an old, I watched this absolutely great thing, and it's on YouTube, and it's about the salt of the earth. And in the Sermon on the Mount, the Lord talks about being the salt of the earth, and the salt, it flavors things that aren't salty. So if you're going to be the salt of the earth, you need to go where things aren't, so that you can flavor them and bring out that flavor. And so, in a way, that's kind of why I'm on Facebook, anyways, to continue to help bring people. And that's why we're preparing. We're actually creating a group that's going to be off of that, where we can have a little bit more freedom with our language and our discussions. And so stay tuned for that. Practical. We're building something. Scott's got it built. We're building something for those people who don't want to be on Facebook but also want to still be in a group where we can have regular community and conversations. So we're definitely going to have both.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So these are the fun, unlikely things, forgotten items, things that you may not have thought about. Hopefully you had a piece of paper and a pencil as you were writing down some things. I actually wrote down probably half a dozen things that I didn't think about that Scott and Shane put up on the screen and talked about. So hopefully you guys have a new list. The good news about prepping is that, as soon as you think you've got what you need, you watch a show like this, you're like, dang it, now I got 10 more things to go get, and not just 10 more things, but you got to get 3 of them in order to make sure you have, sufficient in your stash for those types of things. But I definitely added several things to my list. Hopefully you guys did. Any last minute thoughts, comments, or things to share? Shane, did you pick your
no, I didn't. No, I'm frozen. I will come up with something for next time there, Web Dad, and I'll give you a good one. So
there you go.
Anything from you, Scott?
I just want to remind everybody to stay awesome, stay ready-minded, have fun with this. Like, more than anything, this episode's more about kind of the fun side of prep, but just have fun with your preparedness, have fun with your quality of life. It's all about resilience, creativity, finding new ways to prosper. Like, just have fun with it and have a blessed day.
All right.
See you guys next
make
week.
Sure you're in our group and participating. If you are on Facebook, be participating. Another fun thing that we're going to be able to do in the group that we're creating off of Facebook is going to have a little bit of, those that participate, those that bring in some great ideas and get, good conversations going. We're going to have some contests. So we want to just, get everybody in a community where we're having a good time, but we're also actually getting prepared. It's one thing to be entertained. It's another thing to actually do the things necessary, build the skills necessary, have the confidence to be able to survive some of the scenarios that we all know are coming to not just America, but to the world. So remember, it's an election year, and be kind. And we actually had Donald Trump visit us apparently in our chat today. So hopefully,
what a privilege.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge.
Hopefully we don't get canceled for that.
Yeah, we may or may not. Who knows?
On these platforms. Sheesh.
Oh, another thing. Speaking of, somebody just mentioned we need a meetup. There's a difference right now. My city is going to be hosting in October, hosting an event, preparedness event. So look to your cities, see if there's anybody hosting any preparedness events, and go and participate. Go and spread the word of preparedness, and get some communities that are more local to you and where you are, so that you have that too. So you've been listening to Prepper Talk Radio for the ready-minded, the podcast for the prepared. Go check out our friends at amp-3.net and get your first aid kit with 15% off. Use Prepper Talk, and then also visit our friends at survivalfrog.com and get 10% off using Prepper Talk as the code. Thank you all for being on the live with us. Thanks to those of you who are listening later. Our downloads are increasing, so we're really grateful for all of you who are listening on the podcast platforms. Keep spreading the word, keep downloading, and let's get prepared and be ready. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next week.
See you guys.